Meeting to order. I certify that we do have a quorum. All 5 members are present. Opening prayer this morning will be by Pastor Brian Schofer. Is that correct, Brian? From Valley View Creek Church, followed by our pledges, led by Commissioner Hollowell. If you would, please rise. I'm sorry, is Brian not here? Okay.
I was looking at him too.
I did too. All right, I'll do the prayer. Lord, we ask that you watch over this community. We ask that you watch over this court, Lord, and give us the guidance that we need to make decisions that will be beneficial to our community and serve you, Lord. And we ask that you watch over our servicemen and women and our first responders throughout the country and throughout the world. In Jesus' name we pray, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Item number 5 on the agenda, public comments on agenda items. Anyone signed up? Okay. Consent agenda. The consent agenda includes non-controversial and routine items that the court may act on with one single vote. The judge or commissioners may pull any item from the consent agenda in order for the court to discuss and act upon it individually as a part of a regular agenda.
I would like to pull Q as in quiet.
Okay, item Q, deliberate and consider possible approval of appointment of Tana Lowe. Is that how it's pronounced? County Extension Agent, Agricultural and Natural Resources, Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service. Dr. Miller?
I think we have a spokesman here to talk to us.
How are you this morning, sir?
All right, good morning, Judge. Commissioners, how are y'all this morning?
We're very good, thank you.
Good deal. It's an honor for me to be here this morning to have the opportunity to present Tana Lowe as a County Extension Agent, Ag and Natural Resources here. Tana's experience, she was a horse trainer at ranch for the past 2 years and head trainer for J.Will Prest for Priest. From 2020 to 2021. She was also an intern with the Dana and County Extension Office in New Mexico State for 4 months. Also, she was a student intern at the New Mexico State 4-H office for a year. And then also a student intern at Grant County Extension Office for 4 months. She has a BS in Agriculture and Extension Education and also a Master's in Agriculture and Education from New Mexico State University. Tana was one of the individuals we interviewed for the position. Came to the very top within the applicant pool that we had. We're very pleased to present her as a county extension agent here in Cooke County. If y'all do a vote on her, she will be in training with Marty next door for a whole month. That's actually extension pays for that. She'll be over the 1 month, kind of seeing what extension does. The good thing it is, she'll be with Marty. Marty was here previously. He can make good contacts, good connections, and help a smoother transition for the new agent here. So she'll be there from October 1st through November 1st there as the kind of what we'll call a first step program in the Jackson County with Marty. So I'd like to present Tana Lowe to you all for the County Extension Agent, Ag and Natural Resources.
Welcome, Tana.
Welcome to Cooke County.
Thank you.
So far, how have you liked the county?
I really like it. I have a roomie that's just off of Munster and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, well, good.
And just for the record, Marty was our previous county agent, and he is now in Wise County.
Wise County, yes.
Yeah, he's still down there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, so he'll be able to teach you the ropes.
Great.
Yeah, what to expect here. Very good. Well, welcome to Cooke County.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve
Second.
Tana Lowe and a second from Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Tana passes 5-0. Welcome to Cooke County.
Thank you.
Item number 7 on the agenda.
We got to approve the rest of it. I make a motion, we approve all of the rest of the consent agenda, excluding Q.
Second.
I have a motion to approve consent agenda from Commissioner Clement, a second from Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Consent agenda is approved, less Q, 5-0. Item 7, deliberate and consider possible approval of Treasurer's monthly report of August 2021.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion from Commissioner Hollowell to approve Treasurer's monthly report for August. Snuggs, I'm sorry. Second. And I have a second from Commissioner Arndt. All in favor of approving Treasurer's monthly report for August, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Item number 8, it is 10:06. Opening public hearing, request for James and Kim Lineholm for replat of Lot 72 and 73, Lake Kiowa Incorporated subdivision. Anyone here to speak to that? Commissioner Snuggs, do you have anything?
I don't on the public hearing side.
Okay, it is 10:07. We will close public hearing. Item 10, deliberate and consider possible approval of request by James and Kim Langholm for replat of Lot 72 and 73, Lake Kiowa subdivision.
This was approved by the Lake Kiowa POA, so I'm good with it. It is,
So is that a motion?
yeah, just to explain to people, they just joined two lots together, so it's making a larger lot.
Just moving the line between the two lots.
Is that what it is? It's just a line moving?
Purposes.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Snuggs to approve the replat of Lot 72 and 73, a second by Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Number 11, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding approval to commence 2-year maintenance bond period for new extension of County Road 3634 in South Ridge of Lindsay, Phase 4 in Precinct 3.
This is in the South Ridge. It's an extension on a road about a quarter mile. They're just, he extended it around, done all the stuff that's supposed to be done. We require a maintenance bond, so he got that done. And I make the motion that we approve it.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
A second. I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Arnold, a second to approve by Commissioner Hollowell of the extension of County Road 3634 in South Ridge.
Actually, Judge, there aren't we just approving the maintenance bond, and then it'll be the acceptance of the road in 12?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Do I need to restate that one? Deliberate and consider possible actions regarding approval to commence 2-year maintenance bond. I have a motion to accept by Commissioner Hollowell, a second by Commissioner Arndt.
Motion by Art, second by Hollowell.
You got them backwards. But we all knew what you meant.
It's Monday.
Okay, it is Monday. All righty. So, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Deliberate and consider accepting the new extension of County Road 3634 in South Ridge of Lindsay, Phase 4, located in Precinct 3, into the county road system.
Question for the guys that have been here a while. Do we normally accept it that fast, or do we wait until the maintenance bond runs out? It seemed like on the two that I've taken, it wasn't accepted in until the bond ran out.
Two different bonds. You've got, one is your bond prior to construction, and then when you accept, you do the maintenance bond, and it stays in place for a year.
Okay.
But, and probably we should have accepted and then done the bond, done 12 and 11.
It should have been flipped.
But I need some remedial training now because I'm aging, you know, but now that we're using the engineering firm, we no longer, two commissioners no longer go look, right?
No, that I don't think so. do we?
That was our purpose of
Yeah,
that,
it was the
because we
purpose
said
of-
we wasn't really quite,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So,
And the engineer did check all this, so. It just, the two, like, one road I had to accept as soon as I came into office, and the other road that I've accepted since then was after the engineering and everything, so everything's just,
But the maintenance bond is for 2 years.
2 years, but it's after the engineers, instead of the two commissioners like we used to do it, the engineers now buy into it, we don't go look, and then the maintenance bond comes into effect, what I think.
Yeah, but it's for 2 years, not one.
It is two, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, let's,
I make a motion to accept.
okay, I have a motion to accept County Road 3634 in South Ridge by Commissioner Arnn, and I have a second to accept County Road 3634 by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. And with this, Kathy, we need a letter to the city of Lindsay that we accept it. Can we get that?
All right, item 13, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the Workers' Compensation Alliance election form.
Morning.
Morning.
So this is part of the annual workers' comp renewal with TAC. So the court must elect to either participate or not participate in the alliance. The alliance is a network of doctors that the employee must see if they are injured here at work. As in the past years, the county has not elected to participate, and I would recommend that we do not participate in the alliance again this year, as most doctors here locally are not in the alliance, and it causes our employees to have to travel farther and look harder for a doctor to see and may not be able to see the doctors they want.
I'd make the motion that we elect not to participate in the subdivision workers' comp alliance.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Hollowell not to accept the Workers' Compensation Alliance election, and a second by Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Okay, then item 14 goes on, deliberate and consider possible approval of renewal of application for workers' compensation program coverage through Texas Association of Counties.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve workers' compensation program coverage through Texas Association of Counties by Commissioner Hollowell.
second.
A second by Commissioner Snuggs. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 15, deliberate and consider possible approval of renewal of application for vehicle liability, vehicle physical damage coverage, and general liability coverage through Texas Association of Counties for physical 22. I'll make the motion that we approve the renewal of the vehicle insurance.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Snuggs.
On the,
Go ahead.
our liabilities limits, 100, 300, 100?
That's a maximum, I think, that they can sue us for, because we're a entity.
Okay.
That's political subdivision.
political subdivision.
100,000.
I was thinking 200,000 was the maximum, but maybe
It's
300.
capped.
Unless it's changed, it was $100,000.
It was $100,000.
I mean, because I carry more than that personally.
Yeah, but that's because you can be sued for more than that person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when I seen that, I was like, whoa. And then the uninsured motorist, is that the max that we can do on that? Say if somebody totals out one of our motor graders? Or
They
tractors?
hit it pretty hard.
I mean, 30,000?
I don't know. That's a silly question, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
so if, let's say they have the lowest state limits, which is 25,000, ours has to come in behind it. I mean,
Right.
They cause a belly dump to flip over, that would be low, but I guess at the same time, we have to assume some risks and some,
But I mean, it's-
a little bit of self-insurance too.
I don't know how much, usually it's very little difference between 30, 60, 25, and say 100, 300, 100. I'm talking on my personal policy. Now, I don't know about this one, but
Political subdivisions are different, but that's more of a Shelley question
Yeah.
of where the limits are,
Where the rates kind
or
of,
where the rates go.
it's probably just been where it's been.
I just think maybe next year we ought to look at that.
See,
Yeah, I mean, it can be, even if we accept this, it could be
Yeah,
changed
it
midstream.
can be.
too, so, yeah, if you want
Just-
to make a
just-
note to revisit it.
Yeah. I'm good with it.
I think for the longest time, all we carried was liability, correct, prior to me?
That's what this is. It's
Well,
all liability.
well, yeah, but it probably didn't even have uninsured.
We're basically self-insured anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, we have full coverage now on
On some of our
anything
more
that's 5
expensive
years,
equipment.
5 years older or less. We rejected the unmanned aircraft.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion that we renew our vehicle and general liability through the Texas Association of Counties.
Second.
Have a second from Commissioner Arm.
I think we'd already made a motion in a second, we just need to approve it, we just need to vote.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
discussion, that's right.
So
That's what I have, that's what you have.
do I need to do a roll vote or just a vote?
Just a vote.
Just vote.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 16, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the VFIS of Texas Excess Authorization Form.
So this form was sent to me by Hutcherson Insurance Agency because ERA Volunteer Fire Department currently carries workers' comp through the Hutcherson Insurance. And we also, as a county, carry workers' comp for up to 10 firefighters, as long as they're responding to a call for the county. So ERA wants to drop their coverage with Hutcherson and just be covered by us, but they also have another insurance policy that they want to maintain with Hutcherson's insurance. And they want us to sign the form to show that our workers' comp is primary and their accident and sickness policy would be secondary. So,
And what's
yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What's the reasoning for this?
For the form to be signed,
Well, for the change in insurance.
it's just less money, less cost to the fire department because they would be covered under our workers' comp regardless.
Are the other volunteer fire departments covered under our?
We cover 10 total, and it covers all the fire departments.
Okay.
So, but it's a max of 10 firefighters per year, and
Per fire department.
no,
No.
Just 10 per year?
10 per year.
Up to 10 people could.
That's-
Up to 10 people, that's, okay.
Yes.
I got you.
And if we sign the form, it saves ERA another $500 because it shows that we are primary on their workers' comp. And that's why they are also wanting the form signed. However, TAC has advised that we should discuss it with the county attorney, and they don't recommend signing it. I've discussed it with Ed. I thought he would be here today. He's not. So I can't speak for Ed, but it's brought to the court for you all to decide if you want to sign that, whether or not.
But Ed's recommendation is not to sign it.
His recommendation was not to sign it. I believe the last sentence on the form is kind of the issue because we don't, that really applies more to the volunteer fire department than to us as the county. I have sent them information to show that we do have coverage for the volunteers.
This is just saying that the workman's comp wouldn't cover their medical side of it, just the,
That's what it looks like.
So it just shows that this form is stating that their accident and sickness policy is excess of workers' compensation, So yes, there's no medical coverage under the accident and sickness, that our workers' comp would cover the medical.
So when did you talk to Ed?
When did I talk to
When
him?
did you talk to Ed?
Last week.
Last week?
Did you speak to him on it?
No, I haven't talked.
Do what?
I was asking if the judge talked to him on it.
You
He
want
said
to,
no.
you want to set this aside?
Yeah, let's take no action on it.
And, well,
You
We
want
have
to do
time
that?
on it?
get Ed to come up here.
Okay.
And later
Do
on in the
that.
meeting or something, we can bring this back, can we?
Yes, we can. We can skip around.
Is there a rush on it, Elizabeth?
No, I think we can get it to them whenever we're ready to get it to them.
Well.
Ed will be joining.
I'm sure they would like it sooner than later, but.
I don't like
Well,
when things like
he's-
this go, then we forget about it. Do it.
Kathy, he's coming for executive session. He just texted me. So do we want to wait till then and then we'll bring this back up again?
After executive session?
No, right before.
Or right before? Okay, that's fine.
Let's do that. I think that's a good idea. Let's skip it and move on to number 17. Deliberate and consider possible approval of the Cooke County policy for providing premium pay to essential workers.
So this policy has been created to comply with the ARPA premium pay that we will be using for our increases. It defines the pay process, the pay year, and who is an essential worker. So I'm asking that you approve this policy so the county is in compliance with the ARPA premium pay guidelines.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve the policy for providing premium pay to essential workers by Commissioner Hollowell.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 18, deliberate and consider possible nomination of candidate for Cooke County Tax Appraisal District for 2-year terms commencing January the 1st of 2022. I believe that all of the current just want to be reinstated. That was my understanding from Doug. I believe the names are on the list.
I make a motion, we approve the list of candidates for the tax appraisal board.
I have a motion from Commissioner Clement to approve the Tax Appraisal District list for a 2-year term commencing January the 1st.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion?
One question for Leon. I thought we only were in charge of one. Do we approve all of them?
Apparently, they're all up
I
there.
thought the other entities got,
It's the other board, that's the other board. We get a person and a half on the
No,
other board.
we have it's a weighted thing if you read through this. If say go down
just the final approval comes through us.
Yeah.
well, each voting unit nominates a candidate. See, they have to,
We get about a person and a half because we join with Callisburg ISD or something.
well, everybody votes for whoever they want. Now, the way he has this, don't y'all read this, that they're all wanting to come back? And he's putting them all on here, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if we were supposed to single one out, that's not what this says.
Okay.
And if you go further down, it's the allocation ratio, where is it? Cooke County has 1,180 votes. City of Gainesville has what? 545. So it's broken up with all the taxing entities.
Okay.
I'm sure he got a consensus before he put it.
100%. I guess I just misunderstood. I didn't realize, I thought just the one that ours was weighted to came before us. When I saw it on the board, that's what I thought. Not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think there's any splitting of votes on this one, the way he has this written up. All the votes will be tallied by December the 14th.
I'm ready for a vote.
Okay,
Well,
do I have a nomination?
wait a minute.
Oh.
I
I
don't
read
know
through
enough.
this a couple of different times, but the way it is,
I had the central spot, and Nancy took it from me, and I was the
Yeah.
Commissioners Court
Appointee.
yeah.
That's the way it used to be. The way he has this set up, each voting unit may nominate a candidate for each position to be filled. So they're filling all of them.
Yeah, that's the way I read it too, but
We put James Collins, or somehow we nominated James Collins.
Well, I know when I was on it, that was a long time ago, the county installed me. Can we put this off to the next meeting?
I
sure
don't,
can get clarification.
I don't think we can go wrong. But
Yeah, if we nominate all of them, I guess we're good too.
Because up in the deal, it says nomination of a candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take no action.
No, we'll get it right.
On item number 18, deliberate and consider possible nomination of a candidate for Cooke County Tax Law Appraisal District for 2-year terms commencing January the 1st. We'll take no action. Item 19, deliberate and consider possible approval of request for overtime compensation for Sheriff's Office and budget amendment for same.
that's a chief.
I didn't recognize y'all dressed up.
Yeah. Not used to seeing you dressed like that.
I just threw a coat on. I thought you were the preacher this morning.
Some of y'all probably have a really bad visit with Sean Scullin, the chief deputy for the Cooke County Sheriff's Office. We have a request to move $50,000 from salary money and to help pay for overtime. Because when we took over January 1st, there were numerous vacancies in the agency, so we had to pay people overtime to work, plus training all the new people that we brought on. Since that's happened, we've filled all the vacancies, have all the people trained, and hasn't been really an issue anymore since we were up to full staff. So there were probably 12 or 13 vacancies we had in the very beginning when we took over. And we had to keep the county covered 24/7.
And there's no real change in your budget because you're moving it from salaries where you had the vacancies into overtime.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve the request for overtime compensation for the Sheriff's Office and budget amendment for the same by Commissioner Hollowell, a second by Commissioner Arn. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Item 20, deliberate and consider possible approval of EMS director applying for additional COVID-19 grant funds under American Rescue Plan and Providers Relief Fund Phase 4. What's Providers Relief Fund?
Yeah, so there's additional $25.5 billion. Out of that, there's $8.5 billion for rural EMS providers, and the other $17 billion is the Provider Relief Fund. We qualify for both, obviously, and it would be based off our Medicare, Medicaid billing, so I don't have an exact number of what we possibly could qualify for, but it opens up on the 29th, and I want to be able to apply on the 29th to be able to hopefully get some more funding from the COVID relief, so I just need your permission to do so.
Motion and approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the application for additional COVID-19 grant funds.
Is that one, Kevin, you'll track? Because you have to track that one. Does it go through the auditor's office with all these others? How's that?
It would be, yes, it would be just like the American Relief Fund, it would be like the other. So I've already spoken to Shelley, she's on board. She couldn't be here today, obviously, so she asked me to approach the board. So I'll work with Shelley to make sure that this is accomplished. So yes, it would have to be tracked.
This is in addition to all the other ARPA and everything else. that's
Correct.
going on. Okay.
Yes, this is additional funding.
And she'll end up doing all the paperwork associated with it, just like she does on these others. It's not going to be a burden, not going to be something passed off to you.
I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't have that exact answer, but I just know on the 29th that we can apply for it, so. But she's on board, and then again, she asked me to approach court with it, so.
Any other questions? I have a motion from Commissioner Arndt to approve applying for additional COVID-19 grant funds, and a second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Item 21, deliberate and consider possible approval of proposal from 4T Partnerships LLC for courthouse roof. Rick, can you give us an overview of what we're looking at here? I thought we'd already approved this back in April or something.
Well, that's what I thought. So to kind of give you a longer history, in April, 4T, which is the supervisors, sort of, that TAC hires to oversee these jobs, they sent us a scope of work, and in that scope of work, and I don't know if y'all remember, we talked about it at the time, they put in there that they would remove the cap off the parapet wall and replace it with plastic. So all kinds of red flags went up. Myself and the THC got a hold of them and said, we need an updated version of this. So in May, they sent a scope of work. It was 28 pages, and so I read it. I was looking for their actual scope of work that they were going to do, and it passed with me, passed with the THC, and but on page 25 of that 28-page document was a little section that said, sign this for approval of this. And I did not see that.
So the bottom line is what's described here is putting back the exact same roof that we currently have. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the scope of work is in approval with the THC and with us. They're not going to do any damage to the courthouse. That's the main objective here. So with that signed approval, then they'll, and actually I think what this is, and it's sort of out of my line of expertise, this is the TIPS approval for the TIPS contract, if I understand that right.
Okay.
So that the contractor can do whatever he needs to do with TIPS to get his bonds together and whatever, so we can move forward.
So you support signing this?
Yes.
Without the alternates, Rick? Are the alternates included in this?
Do what?
I'm sorry.
I'm asking about the alternates. Is there anything to be considered there? In other words, it looks like it's $268,826, then looks like there's about $10,000-$12,000 worth of other considerations. Am I looking at it right?
Price to upgrade shingles from 3-tab to Class 4, add $2,150.
Yeah.
Price to add scaffold stair tower at ground level to access county courthouse lower roof, add $8,900.
Right.
Initial, if accepted, are we going to do that?
That's up to y'all. The scaffolding is to keep the contractors from accessing the roof from inside the building. If we don't have that scaffolding, they're going to be going up and down the elevator all the time while they're doing the work. If they put that scaffolding up, they'll access it from the outside and they won't come inside the building at all. That's what that's about. And the upgrade on the shingles, that's for the old EMS building down there. It has 3-tab shingles on it. They're proposing an upgrade to that type of shingle.
That's not for this roof. I didn't think so.
That's not.
That's not.
Yeah,
No,
the
no, no.
3-tab shingle didn't make any
Yeah.
sense, but did we?
The 3-tab shingles for that other building.
Why is it on this proposal? Well, I mean,
Because it's all in one.
at first blush, if I approve this, I think I'm getting the roof fixed for X amount of dollars, but
You're getting this roof, the annex, and that roof.
For this.
for that total
That's all.
dollar amount.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's a little confusing because you're not putting the 310 shingles up here. But that does include all of them.
Now, what portion of this is the county responsible for from a monetary standpoint? Is this all covered by insurance 100%?
As far as I know, it is.
That was my understanding, but
As far as I know,
I'm not sure I
it's
got full
supposed to be.
clarification.
Now, I don't know about the scaffolding, but you
Yeah, that's-
almost have to do the scaffolding because you don't want them in and out of this building going up and down the elevator all day trying to get to the roof.
Right.
And our agenda item says specifically the courthouse roof.
I know.
So,
Well, folks, what can we do?
I think
We don't have the permit from the historical people either, do we?
No, we're still waiting on that.
Who needs this to go on to the next step? Is this
4T.
needed for a next step? I'm assuming-
4T needs this to turn his contractor loose so he can get his bonds together and that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
and probably the longer we postpone it, the more it's going to cost us.
Yeah, I think we should go ahead.
Do what? Gary, I can't hear you.
I said, the longer we postpone it, probably the more it's going to cost.
Yeah, no, we ought to. I think move with it and go.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
I have a motion to approve signing the contract for the 4T Partnership LLC from Commissioner Snuggs, a second from Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Item 20, let's go back to 16 since Ed's here, if everybody's okay with that. Ed, what we're talking about here is item 16, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the VFIS of Texas excess authorization form. Can you kind of give us your understanding and why we should not sign this?
Well, we've already provided them with the information they need to know that we have that coverage for these volunteer firemen. And I agree with TAC that when we start entering into assurances with third parties, we just buy ourselves trouble down the road. So this document has no bearing on our workers' comp coverage, and we have already advised them through Elizabeth's office of what our coverage is. So I recommend we don't sign anything.
Thank you.
Okay.
Send Adams, I don't know what, he's the one who have to deal with it.
I'd like to get a little bit more information. Just because the way this reads, I mean, I don't know. Of course, workman's comp doesn't take care of medical, does it? Doesn't it take care of their downtime and that kind of stuff?
No, it also takes care of medical.
Other medical?
Yeah. You want to take no action and put it back on the agenda for the next court and give you an opportunity to do some more research?
Yeah, I would like to go talk to them.
Yeah,
I think.
you hadn't talked to them face to face about it.
I've talked to them about moving it from their workman's comp to ours, but then this is all new. I didn't know this was coming.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would do. I'd go talk to Shane, get it all lined up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shane and I'm going to talk to the Hutcherson and see.
Why do they need that?
Yeah,
And the part I don't understand is why does Hutcherson need that?
yeah.
Well, it sounds like they're duplicating something.
Well,
yes.
They should be well covered under our workers' comp.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why.
I mean, we have BFIS through Lindsay, but it's an accidental policy. I don't know why they're saying they're not going to cover it. It's kind of weird. So I think we ought to table it till the next meeting. Let us get some information.
It'll give you a chance to get out in front of it and do it.
Okay. We'll take no action on item 16 and put it back on the agenda for next time. Okay, item 22, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding Main Street lot. Just as a reminder, we have our first workshop October the 4th, which I believe is next Monday. Do we have anything regarding the Main Street lot that anyone wants to discuss? Then we'll take no action. Item 23, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the Crest Building. Anybody have anything they'd like to discuss on the Crest Building?
Not until we get past the budget.
So we'll take no action on the Crest Building. Item 24, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the annex. Anybody want to speak to the annex or have any issues to discuss? Once again, we'll have our first workshop to try to vet out some of this on Monday, October the 4th. We'll take no action on item 24. Item 25, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding county radio communication system.
I don't know that we have a whole lot to discuss at this point. We're still receiving any equipment. We're still working on leases. They're doing environmental studies. Hopefully the environmental stuff's done middle of October. Sheriff's Office has received several of the radios in.
We still don't have the leases signed?
We still don't have leases signed, but we're getting close, we think. We're cautiously optimistic that at least one of them will happen this week. Complete. Yeah.
Who missed this one?
I think that was, but she's come back this week, right? We think.
She said, no, she's just sent her husband back with it.
Okay, so.
All right. Any other discussion on the communication system?
Like I said, and the other one is, we're cautiously optimistic that we'll get it turned around soon.
Okay, we'll take no action on item 25. Item 26, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding various grant funds. Sharon, you have any input on grant funds? No? Okay, we'll skip over that.
Probably hadn't been a whole lot of activity this week on them, so.
No action on 26?
Unless she feels free to just want to share something. Not really.
All right. Item 27, deliberate and consider any necessary actions regarding countywide burn ban.
Good morning. As everybody knows, it's getting drier out there, and we are starting to have a few spot fires that are mostly related to it being this dry, that we're getting power line arcing with the animals in a couple of cases. Vehicles driving along the road that are sparking, whether it's chains dragging or blowouts on tires, vehicles parking in tall grass, starting fires. So some folks that have had controlled burns that they didn't control and left, and the next day the wind blows embers out into the dry grass and gets them going. So we are starting to see some of those. I don't think it's at the level yet that we need to enact a burn ban, but I think it's important to let everybody know and understand the process that we have, and that we are into that season that with the changing conditions that will be 1 year and drier and cold fronts coming through, and if we can hopefully get moisture this week, I think we'll be okay, but for at least the time being. I think a couple of things, I did provide the current KBDI, Keach, Byron Drought Index. The highest, driest area in Cooke County is 671, the lowest is 532, and that's the soil moisture that's the depth of the soil moisture is, and so that's 5 to 6 inches below the surface, which puts us at an overall of 613. Generally, 600 is the time when we really start to at least debate and consider putting on burn bans, taking into consideration, again, how prevalent the fires are and how bad the conditions are. So we are at the beginning of that time. The other is the latest drought monitor. This only comes out on Thursdays, so it's already 4 or 5 days old today. But they do have us at least in abnormally dry conditions right now. The forecast this week is positive for rain for a couple of days. At least right now, they're not indicating a large quantity, 1 to 2 inches in particular areas. And we'll hope for a little more than that. But we've got chances from Wednesday, I think, through Friday, so that's a good right now. But in the meantime, asking everyone to please be extra careful out there. If you must burn outdoors, be very careful. Stay with your fire. Make sure it's out whenever you leave it. Be careful on the sides of the road, pastures, fields with your vehicles. Driving into those and sitting for any period of time can start fires. It's just that time of year this happens. It's not unusual. It's typically we get into September, it does start to rain into October, and we make our way through winter. But at least right now, it's a little drier than normal, so we've got to be careful and monitor our activities. But for right now, again, it's just an opportunity to highlight this to the public, to help them keep the fire danger down, keep the instances down, and let our firefighters continue with their real lives and jobs and not have to disrupt it to go put out fires that really shouldn't have started probably. But for right now, I would not recommend a burn ban.
Now, this is the first time we've had burn ban on the agenda since I've been commissioner.
Is that right?
Really? It's been a while, that's all.
It's been a while.
It's rained and rained and rained and tore up our roads.
It's as important to start talking about it early so we can warn everybody. They ought to start being more careful.
Look, we've never used the KBDI as the sole source, but the number used to be like 675. Didn't we have a kind of a number go?
In fireworks orders, there is a 575 number.
575.
With the burn ban, there are a couple of things. It's in Local Government Code Chapter 352 that one is that the Forest Service would determine that you are in drought conditions. Well, that's not hard to do. And then if they determine that, then you can put on a burn ban. The other section basically says if the commissioners feel that the conditions in the unincorporated area are dire enough that they need a burn ban, they put on a burn ban. So,
can you put an emergency burn ban on?
No, sir.
Do you have the ability to do that? Or can the judge do it?
No, I can't either.
I thought
We looked into that.
You could declare a disaster
for
and
a
implement
week.
that.
Yeah,
And then it would be a 7-day.
That's the only way that we could do it without having a meeting.
Right.
If
Yes, sir.
he declared a disaster, if all of a sudden it
Yes,
just
sir.
got super dry and the wind was blowing, but then it has to be approved by Commissioners Court within 7 days.
Yes, sir. Correct.
We come back and ratify it.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're not doing that.
I've had one person call, and of course, that's one person. I mean, it's
Well,
still
I
a
know.
lot of folks burning their household stuff, and
Yeah, I noticed Munster and several other fire departments have been going out several times a week now because it's starting. And,
so maybe this moisture will
yeah,
help come
you
back.
just never know. We might get lucky.
Because once we put it on, it'll be there through the winter and
Yeah.
beyond, I would guess. So,
Well, it all depends if it turns out wet yet.
Thank you, Ray.
Sir?
Then we'll take no action regarding countywide burn ban, item number 27. Item 28 is executive session in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Government Code Vernon, Texas Code.
thank you, Sharon. Glad you got to see us.
Consultation with attorney, B, real property. It is 11:24. Are we rolling, Christian? Thank you. Okay, we're going back to item 16 on the agenda, deliberate and consider possible.
No,
It's 18.
it was 18.
18. Going back to item 18, deliberate and consider possible nominations of candidates for Cooke County Tax Appraisal District for 2-year terms commencing January the 1st. Our question is, Doug, the list that was sent to us, I perceive that to be we needed to, if we chose to, renominate those 5 people. Is that the case, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's what I thought that we needed to do, if we were good with those 5 people.
Don't pick a name.
Do what?
We shouldn't pick a name, you just,
No, the process.
I think we can if you want to, but
Yeah.
why would you?
Those are
process,
fine.
what happens is that we're required to send out for you guys to make nominations. There's only 5 seats. If there's 7 nominations, then we have to put out a ballot, and the ballot, and you cast your votes based on the ballot, and the top 5 get the seat. As I was explaining to Leon, I said I would like to see it in legislation that's kind of like, if there's only 5 nominations, then I don't have to go back and have people cast their ballots. But that didn't happen this last session. Because for the last 10 years, I've only had 5 nominations, but I still required, under the comptroller rule and the property tax code, I still have to send out a ballot and let everybody vote and cast their votes. So it'd make more sense if you only have 5 nominations, that is automatically go on, you don't have to mess with it. So in this process right now is that you make their nominations, which you can nominate as many, 1, 2, 3, or all 5. Currently, Kellisburg has made their nomination for James Collins, and Gainesville City has made nominations for Nathan Dempsey and for Nancy Brandon. Typically, the western half of the county will do like Joe Knight and Jerry Flatman. That Mercer School's going to do those 2, unless you got somebody else that you would like to make nominations otherwise to add into the pot. But that's kind of the procedure type basis.
But it's not going to matter if we nominate 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I make a motion, we nominate all 5 names provided to the court.
Second.
I have a nomination to nominate all 5 candidates for Cooke County Tax Appraisal District for a 2-year term commencing January the 1st by Commissioner Hollowell. I have a second by Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion?
I'll just say that what triggered me to question the process is I thought each group of entities, I just thought it was different.
So, I mean, each one of them can make the same nomination through the process. It is like when Leon was on the board years ago. But when it all comes down to it, usually what happens is when it comes down to the votes, so you can nominate 1, 2, 3, you can nominate 7 people, but only the top 5 is going to get.
Back in those days, it was more of a contentious period, let's say, and there would always be some drama about who was going to be nominated to be on the board. You haven't had that, like I said, you've had 5 now forever.
Yeah.
This is like we've had a nominations committee, now they've asked for nominations from the
Yeah.
floor, and we're making the motion that the nomination cease and accept it by acclamation, right?
Yeah, and at one time, each part of the county made sure they nominated one person to show that they strongly supported that person, but we haven't had that issue in quite a while.
I thought it's just odd that we got to nominate one person, that we sent that one name over there because we have so many votes, is what I understood.
Well, when it all said and done, even though you don't nominate that person, typically the county can split their votes in many ways they want.
Yeah.
And
I didn't mean
like I said,
to hold us up anymore, I was just explaining to you because I'm kind of,
Well, in this letter was confusing.
yeah, and I got,
It was a little
Wait a
confusing.
minute, what'd you just say? You said this was.
This letter to us was a little bit confusing because it says each entity
Okay.
nominated.
Well, and that's sometimes part of it, this letter's been sent out in the past 5, 10 years. You always wonder, says, okay, how do I word it? I understand it.
if I give it to somebody else, how would it make clear to you? So I want your input.
Yeah, on this deal, that's the reason the whole court, we can get the
Yeah.
question. We
Okay,
initially was just gonna go approve all 5, and then
We start second
read it.
guessing.
Yeah.
We were second guessing.
So what,
You and I discussed it, and I thought I had it correctly, but these guys convinced me I wasn't quite sure I had it correct.
well, like I said, I've been doing this for years. I understand it. So the question is, how do you relate to somebody else that would understand it? Part of
He
it.
just backed the bus up.
That's okay. So appreciate you.
I don't remember him saying that.
We got a motion.
Well,
Yeah.
now that I've got the nominations coming in, then basically what I'll do is I'll send out the ballot, and then you can cast the votes at the next, which will be in October, after October. And then what also I'll do is that, once the ballots come in, and we try to get representation to each part of the county, you know, northeast, south, and west, get representation. Same way with the president board, same way. And then at the December meeting, then if it's a new person coming in, I invite them to the December meeting, and then they are appointed in the January meeting. So
But so when this comes back, you want us to do what?
You're going to
I'll be
vote on
sending
it.
a ballot to you that you will have to cast your votes, number of votes, to,
We have to split up.
We'll know if we need, how we need to divide our 1,084 votes up.
y'all figure that out. I'm not supposed to tell you that.
Yeah, but no, yeah.
That's up to us to find out if
That's
everybody's
what we'll
going
do,
to.
what Jason's basically talking
And
about.
that's the judge and us to decide who all's getting how many votes.
There
How
was-
many votes will they have to get a spot? You'll tell us that.
Yeah, 700 some odd votes to seat a person, takes 700, is actually 700 some odd votes to seat a person.
So typically, the taxing entities kind of
Yeah.
get together and see who's.
There was a bill introduced this last session that affected anything primarily the population of 120,000 more, you know, the bracket bills, to where if, and there was something else about it, based on the number of votes that you had, that they had to cast the votes within 30 days of receiving the ballots. What it was is how they were stacking votes, you know, and figuring out what it was. This comes from another county, Metroplex County.
Yeah.
So, look at that.
Gotcha.
We've done good in Cooke County for years.
We got a motion second, right?
Yep.
We do.
Yep.
We need a vote.
Thanks for the trouble.
Thanks, Doug. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 29 on our agenda, adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second. I have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Snug, seconded by Commissioner Orange.
Discussion.
Any further discussion?
God, is this a first? Is this a first we've had discussion?
All in
Sit
favor?
back down.
I'm just stretching.
Put the future agenda item thing back on there, please.
Future agenda item.
You know, if we're gonna do it, why don't we just tell Kathy
okay,
what we
okay.
need?
No, no.
In other words, each commissioner, we don't have to say now what we want and expect her to capture, just pick up on Kathy. and tell her what we want.
It doesn't matter. Things come to you while you're here and you forget about it later.
But we just have a tendency to get into discussion on what it is
No,
we
we
want to
don't.
discuss.
I don't think so.
I mean, if it's worthwhile for me to remember it, I'll get it to Kathy. But,
Maybe.
I mean, I'm kind of relying on her to capture, or if we talk about it or say, hey, put this on the agenda, we're relying on Kathy or somebody to put it on there. So,
I don't, it's all recorded. I think it's fine. I just like to have that on there. Anyway.
it's up to the court. I don't need it.
Any thoughts on adding a line item for future agenda items?
We used to.
Well, I'm fine with it, whatever. I mean, it seems like it's it makes more triggers a few things.
Adam?
I think it's good. It just makes it more transparent.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.